Hello everybody, MegaZX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video. We're gonna start this year off hot and strong, and why not then, just go ahead and lay it out every Nintendo Switch game that we can expect going into 2024 as of this moment right here though. The handful of third-party stuff that we know that's confirmed that I thought was important enough to actually would make this list, and we'll talk about every single first-party game that that has been mentioned in the past direct and subsequent directs that we managed to get before that though. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. All right, so starting off on January the 18th, we have Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown that is planning to drop out on this day, though. It's one of those third-party games where I was like, you know what? Looking at it at whenever it was first revealed at Summer Game Fest back in 2023, I was like, I'm not usually the biggest Prince of Persia fan. I mean, just in general with Ubisoft game, I'm like, what? I know the Mario and Rabbids stuff and, just a few things here and there, like, Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. But I don't usually pay a lot of attention to Ubisoft games though, but this one in particular was kind of standing out in my mind though, because just looking at it, it kind of gave me some Ori and the Blind Forest kind of vibes. Not exactly so with Moon Studios and what they managed to produce though, but it just kind of gave me those overall vibes where I felt like the platforming was tight niche. The combat and stuff seems really cool, unique. It has its own little spice and flavor up in it though, as well. And I was like, you know what? I could see this game being a really good platformer. I don't know, just call it a gut feeling though. But I feel like this one's gonna be a really good one though. So that's like one of the first major games that managed to drop out here in 2024. Next up, the day after that, January 19th, we have another Code Recollection. Now, this is one of the first party games that's going to manage to drop out from Nintendo. And yes, it is technically two games in one. And we managed to get these games out just early in January right here. Obviously, it's kind of a bit more on the visual novels kind of side of things, though. And for a lot of people, maybe a lot of people will kind of skip over this, won't, give two thoughts about it, though. We got this game originally back on the DS era with that game, and we didn't manage to actually get the sequel game, which actually managed to drop for the Wii over there for Japan. So it's kind of nice to see the second game as part of this collection being brought over to the West and being localized for us finally, though. So if you happen to be a fan of this series back in the DS era and you're kind of looking to see, where the story went, all those answers will be revealed on January 19th. Now, on January 25th, as if we didn't have enough games already, we'll have the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy coming out on this day. Now, yes, that would be, basically the Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6 games, all in HD. You're able to play this mess on the big screen television because originally, most of these games came out on that 3DS. So it's just nice to be able to see that in HD brought up. I've been clamoring to Capcom, like, please let this 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 3 are phenomenal games. But we're finally able to get 4, 5, 6. Obviously, they had some extra stuff added up in there. You have all of these different languages and stuff. So a lot of good things are being added up in there. Even some small anime adaptation are actually being included up in here as well. So there's a lot of good things that you're able to do and experience with this game, though. So hopefully we're not too far off from getting that, brand new Ace Attorney 7. I'm just saying, Capcom. I'm just saying, though. But nonetheless, if you want to get your sleuthing on early in the year 2024, we got Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy for you right here. So on February 14th, we had the Tomb Raider collection featuring games 1 through 3. Now, I might not be the biggest Tomb Raider fan out there, though, but I know everything that Lara Croft has managed to do for this series as a whole, though, and the importance that it had within the gaming industry, though. But yeah, if you want to go and experience some of those older games in which, yes, you're going to have some higher resolution, higher textures and stuff like that, this might be your jumping entry point for, just getting it on the Switch right here. Now that we got all the third-party games out of the way, the rest of this list is going to be nothing but first-party games. So on February the 16th, we had Mario versus Donkey Kong. Now, while yes, this might not be necessarily the Donkey Kong game that many people were hoping, myself included, was hoping that we were going to get within that last Nintendo September Direct, I mean, this just happens to be the game that we're going to get right here. So obviously, it's a remake of the GBA game that originally started off the Mario versus Donkey Kong series, as you know, the series that we know now. And then obviously, we got like Mario versus Donkey Kong Minis March again and other games later on in the series, though. But it's nice to see them going back and remaking the first one in the series. Obviously, you got some little nice, cool little cutscenes and stuff like that. Obviously, it's not like your big AAA budget game or anything like that, though. But you know, if you want some Mario versus DK action just to kind of whet your appetite for what could be a future Donkey Kong game that could come in the future, hopefully soon. And yes, you can manage to pick up this game in February. Rolling on over into March, on March the 22nd, we had Princess Peach's Showtime. Now, this game right here really did manage to catch me by surprise when it was revealed earlier last year, though, as you know, one of Peach's, star soloing games where it's just primarily featuring her and not Mario, not Luigi, just her. It's been a while since we had a Peach dedicated game, almost all the way back into the DS era right there, though. But nonetheless, you're going to have Peach kind of going through. Obviously, she's going to have to, compete against some kind of bad person, the antagonist in the game and stuff like that, though. But she's doing it her way, where you actually got like a whole entire stage and stuff, and it seems like the gameplay is actually evolving. Like when you think you thought you would have had a Princess Peach thing that's being a 2D platformer, this is not necessarily the case. You got anything from some sleuthing over there, so some cooking, and you got like some ninja fighting scenes and stuff like that. Like that's the cool, interesting thing about this game is the diversity of the kind of gameplay experiences you're gonna get is gonna be pretty varied. You don't know exactly what's gonna play out next within this game, though. So it's definitely going to keep a lot of people on edge. And if you happen to be somebody interested in Princess Peach and what she's been up to lately, then you might as well go ahead and check out this game in the month of March. Now, that about does it in terms of everything with a confirmed release date in terms of a month and a day and a year. However, there's a few more games that we know that are coming, but we don't have an exact specific time when it does come out, though. And one of the first ones on the list is none other than Luigi's Mansion 2. Now, they did say that that's going to be coming out sometime in 2024. If I had to take a wonder or a guess, I feel like that might be late spring, sometime in the summertime or roughly around there, though. That's when I'm expecting, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD to actually come out. They managed to drop that Dark Moon subtitle off of the thing, though. But it's nice to see, one of these 3DS games managed to make the jump off of that system onto the Nintendo Switch. And like many of these game announcements we've kind of been talking about and alluding to for 2024, a lot of these happen to be, remasters or remakes and stuff like that. You kind of might be a telltale sign that that Switch 2 is on the horizon, though. But nonetheless, with Luigi's Mansion 2, this game looks really clean, really nice. It's one of the only games in the Luigi Mansion series that I have not managed to play myself. I played the first one on the GameCube. I played the third one on the Nintendo Switch. So, you know what? If you happen to be one of those people out there that did not manage to play this on the 3DS, then this could be your shining chance to play this game whenever it drops out in 2024. Also coming out this year in 2024, we have none other than Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door remake. Now, this right here was showcased off in that September Direct in 2023, and it had everybody flipping out because it was the game that actually managed to close out that presentation. So when looking at that game, I was like, oh shoot, Nintendo actually addressed the Paper Mario fans in the room. Obviously, there's been a split divide with Paper Mario. Like there's been people that love the 64 and love the GameCube game and stuff like that. People kind of flip 50-50 on Super Paper Mario. Myself, I really love Super Paper Mario because that story was phenomenal, though. But ever since that third entry in the series, people have been kind of mixed with obviously Paper Mario Color Splash and Sticker Star and everything else, though. Origami King, the latest one on the Switch, was fairly good. I kind of liked the experience, though. But this is definitely going to be more that return to form Paper Mario game right here. I actually own this on the GameCube, though. Had to manage to go through and play through the whole game myself, but I will be managing to pick up this version when it does drop out on the Switch, though. I just like how they're actually going back and acknowledging to the Paper Mario fans, like, we heard y'all's cries and stuff. We're going to manage to give y'all what y'all want. And, this might be one of the very last Switch games that might be a Switch only game, unless something pops up in the February Nintendo Direct for something else we don't know that's coming, though. But nonetheless, it is really cool to see this RPG make a classic comeback. Now, this next and final game is one that we know that's been in the works, honestly, since the start of the Nintendo Switch in general, though. However, have a very good, solid chance that it might very well come out this year. If not this year, then maybe next year. one could hope and say. And yes, I'm talking about Metroid Prime 4. Now, this one has been alluded to. We know it's been announced in 2017. They did that reboot early in 2019. And since then, it's just been on hiatus. We hadn't heard a lick of information about it, though, outside of people saying some things about some hiring stuff or retro studios and stuff like that, though. So honestly, that's the one pop-up game. And I feel like whenever it does manage to come out, I have a strong feeling that it's not going to be just only on the Nintendo Switch, but it will likely be on the successor to the Nintendo Switch as well. A lot of people have been dubbing the Nintendo Switch 2, so I'll just roll with that name though. But yeah, I do feel like it's going to be one of those games similar to like a Breath of the Wild, where it's going to release on the previous generation as well as what will be the new current generation right there. So that's just what my gut is telling me right there. So obviously, if that happens to be the case, we might get first, gameplay showcase reveal roughly around the summertime if they manage to drop out the system in what could be like a September or maybe a November timeline or something like that. It's all up to chance though. But when that console comes around the corner, that's where I feel like we'll see the news for Metroid Prime 4. So if y'all happen to be big Metroid fans like myself, we're just gonna wait a little bit longer. But I do think that this year may very well be the year. All right, and that about does it in terms of most of the major heavy hitters for everything Nintendo Switch wise that's coming out in 2024 that we know of as of this moment, coming right into 2024 fresh right here. Obviously, there are some other third-party games and some other minor games that I just did not manage to mention, because otherwise if I managed to mention everything, then this video will be a lot longer than what it is right now though. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section down below. What games are you most looking forward to playing in 2024 that we know of that's coming out right now? If I had to go ahead and throw one out on the board, I would definitely say, I'm excited to see that Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I'm very intrigued on that. That might be my major one looking forward to, even though, yes, it's technically an older game, but you know what? I just had that much love for the Paper Mario series in general, though. But you gotta let me know what are your personal thoughts, though. But that's gonna basically do it in terms of this video right here. So if you really like this video, make sure you go and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.